this is the toughest part. Okay, so you said I look at you, not at the camera? Okay.
Okay. All right. My name, should I look angled or I guess?
This is not here. Pretend it's not here.
That's not here? Yeah, exactly. I don't see anything. I'm not gonna lie. Initially, it's like there was an aversion to it because I didn't want to think about that being something that was necessary.
All these women are just trying to break through and be like, yeah, we deserve our place here. Like, we deserve to be in sports.
We have this drive and this inkling to want to know more and to want people to care what you have to say, because we talked about it before, like, people already want to undermine your credibility because you're a woman, and that's just going to have how it is. Like, you go into the industry knowing that, and so I think that women have, you know, that drive in their mind, like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah, so I definitely had a background playing in sports, but I don't think I ever thought I would be working in sports. My parents or like anybody would be like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be an artist.
For the kids who can't go on to play college athletics or professional, it's kind of a way for us to stay with our love of sports. I grew up loving playing sports, and when I realized I could make a career out of this, it was like, oh, like, yeah, I gotta do it.
I never really imagined that. Like, even when I was younger, I was always the kind of person that was really set in my goals. And so I never really imagined what a life in sports would look like.
I remember like being 5, 6 and begging my dad to go out in the yard, and I would just kick the ball at him. There was no net or anything. It was just kicking the ball as hard as I could at him for literally hours, the poor guy. So I think it's really cool now because I am an artist. Like, I get to like draw on my iPad and like edit video. Like, I still am an artist, but I'm an artist in sports. So. Yeah. We clearly think similarly. If we walk into a room, it's different than, you know, a guy walking into a room.
I've always thought I was on the right path, but there was a time when I didn't think that I could handle the path that I was on, and that was the first time I ever got a hate comment. That is something that you know it's bound to happen, but the first time you see it, like, you're not ready for it. And it was not about my skill set. It wasn't about what I did on air. It was about what I was wearing. If you don't know everything about sports, like, I feel like you can also get overlooked.
I think women deserve to be in every space, right? Like, I don't think there's anything that's inherently feminine or inherently masculine.
I will never know everything to know about photography. And that's exciting, and it's also daunting, especially when you have seasoned people or people who I look up to who are saying, like, you're doing that wrong. And I just got so mad, and I started drafting like how I was gonna reply to this, because I was like, I'm not gonna stand for this. Understanding the kind of things that your brain goes through, how you have to kind of overcompensate. You can't just be, you have to do more pretty much all the time. Once I saw it, I felt the hurt, and I was like, this is not even close to what other women get said to them in the industry. Like, am I going to be able to handle this without losing my head? Because you can't do that as a woman. Guys can, you know, go back and forth on each other on Twitter, you know, when comments are said and it's funny, but if a woman says something back, she's weak. And so for a second there, I just wasn't sure that I was going to be able to handle a job where I was going to have to constantly take criticism from people that were hiding behind a screen.
I read a book recently, and it talked about how women in sports are constantly scared to make any kind of mistake. And so I feel like I've been really lucky that my 2 bosses that I've had in this industry have both been women. So I've always felt comfortable. There's never been a moment where I was like, ooh, like, I don't know if this is the right place for me. Because, yeah, I feel like I've been lucky, but I know there's a lot of women who don't. You don't get that route from being a pro NFL retired quarterback to the pipeline of going to work for CBS or ESPN. You know, women have to start from the ground and work your way up. And so I think we just have a big drive for it, and I think we think more of it in the long term as opposed to the short term. And I try not to think about it. I'm like, okay, no, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. I don't want it to be a thing. Like, I just want to be here. I don't want to think about all those outside factors, but they exist. And when I'm faced with them with
girls coming up to me and saying, hey, I haven't seen a girl doing this. Like, how do I do what you're doing? Once you have other people looking up to you like that, even if it's one person, it's like, whoa, okay, I cannot deny it. It does exist. And me being here and them seeing me here does have an impact, which I never thought about. Never thought about. But when it's right to your face, oh, okay, I kind of have a responsibility now as well.
I want to be able to do a little bit of everything, and he was like, if you're not growing anymore with us, like, we expect you to be gone. Like, we expect you to leave. And like him saying that, I was like, okay, like, you guys are selling me here. Like, that's not like me selling myself. Like, that was like the best thing that they could have said. Our only comment is like, just be confident in saying like, you know, I want to work on this and I want to work on that. So the fact that like it's constantly being said to us, the environments in sports are getting better, and like you're seeing more women in it. So when you have other people telling you, like, that is a-okay to like say something.
You know, when game day rolls around and you're on field or on court and you're standing there, just like, I just love to soak it all in. Like, it feels right. It's finding women who are like you in this industry and asking for that mentorship. I think that's so important, because like, they're gonna be willing to do it. If anybody ever came to me and was like, can you mentor me through? Like, 100% no doubt, right? And I feel like there's not a single woman who wouldn't do that.
It's always gonna be tough. It's always gonna be a tough industry. It's gonna be tougher for you as a girl. The working here does not mean as much if you don't have to fight a little bit to get there. And that helps you appreciate the good moments and the moments where you're, you know, you see other girls there. Oh, we all made it. You know, we all did it. You will never have a better supporter than another girl.
I'll never forget one time this woman came up to me, and this was right when I got hired at Dog Nation, and she's an avid watcher, and I got to meet her, and she was like, I thank you for doing what you do, because you're the first woman that my daughter has seen. Like, my daughter can see somebody that looks like her on the TV screen and not be discouraged. And now she said my daughter's asking more about sports than ever. And like, that was just gut-wrenching. Like, I just didn't even know what to say, because you don't think about those kinds of things. So it's so cliche, but my biggest advice is always that you have to be the change that you want to see in the world.
I don't know if there was like an actual lesson in there or piece of advice, but love it. Stay passionate, and it'll be worth it.